The Ryder Cup stands as the most revered and sacred event in team golf. However, behind the scenes, a serious internal conflict is ripping apart the European team's dressing room. Jon Rahm, the two-time major champion and the emotional heart of Europe's recent successes, has dropped a major bombshell that has left the entire golf world stunned. 8 of his fellow LIV Golf players accepted a deal that would secure their futures in the Ryder Cup. Rahm refused. He labeled the DP World Tour's offer as extortion and declared he would not be forced or pressured into playing 6 events. Now, with the 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor drawing closer, Rahm's teammates are furious. Rory McIlroy called it a shame, while Justin Rose has openly questioned his loyalty. Rahm finds himself right in the center of a raging firestorm. He insists he is confident he will be part of the team, yet even the European captain admits he is unsure whether Rahm will remain eligible. This is the inside story of the deep rift that threatens to tear Europe's Ryder Cup team apart. Subscribe for the complete story of the growing locker room tension that has the golf world on edge. What happened in February 2026? In February 2026, the DP World Tour extended an olive branch to its LIV Golf rebels. The conditions appeared reasonable to most players. They were asked to pay their outstanding fines, estimated at around $2.5 million, drop their legal appeals, and commit to playing 6 DP World Tour events per season instead of the usual 4. In exchange, the tour would provide conditional releases allowing them to compete in conflicting LIV events without facing any further penalties. 8 players quickly agreed to the terms: Tyrrell Hatton, Laurie Cantor, Thomas Detry, Tom McKibben, Adrian Meronk, Victor Perez, David Puig, and Elvis Smiley. Their Ryder Cup futures were now safe and their fines would be covered. The road back to European golf's biggest stage looked clear, but one man said no. Jon Rahm turned it down. He called the tour's demands extortion and accused officials of using our impact in tournaments and trying to benefit from both sides of what we bring. The main sticking point was the requirement of 6 events. Rahm insisted he would only agree to 4, the standard minimum for any DP World Tour member. He told reporters, "Funny enough, I told them to lower it to 4 events like the minimum says and I'll sign tonight. They haven't agreed to that. I simply refuse to play 6 events. I don't want to, and that's not what the rules state." The reaction from his fellow players was fast and harsh. His Legion XIII teammate and close friend Tyrrell Hatton signed the deal without any hesitation. Rory McIlroy, speaking from Bay Hill, delivered a sharp message. "In my opinion, it's a really generous deal. It's much softer than the one Brooks took to return and play on the PGA Tour." McIlroy pointed out that 8 of the 9 players offered the deal had accepted it. "There's a reason 8 of the 9 guys took that deal. I think it's a really good deal." The unspoken message was clear: Rahm was the outlier, the one putting his personal principles above the team. McIlroy added, "I just don't see what more the European Tour can do to accommodate these guys to keep their membership." The locker room was now split, and the wound remained fresh. Luke Donald sat in the media center at TPC Sawgrass, freshly confirmed as captain for the 2027 Ryder Cup at Adair Manor. The first question he faced was not about pairings or qualifying rules, it was about Jon Rahm. Donald, who had guided Europe to victories in Rome and Bethpage Black, chose his words carefully. "Jon is one of the best players in the world and any team is stronger with him. But the Ryder Cup has always been about players who truly want to be there and are willing to do whatever it takes to be part of something bigger than themselves." The message was subtle but unmistakable. The door was still open, but it would not stay open forever. For Rahm, the situation is brutally simple. The DP World Tour's offer requires 6 events, 2 more than the standard minimum, and the tour gets to choose where 2 of those events must be played. 8 players have already accepted and secured their Ryder Cup places. Only Rahm remains outside the group. The irony is striking. Rahm has never lacked passion for the Ryder Cup. His performance at Marco Simone in 2023 was legendary, a 4-0-1 record that included a memorable Sunday singles victory over Scottie Scheffler, which sent the European crowd into pure celebration. He even cried on the 18th green, overwhelmed by the honor of representing his continent. Now that same continent may have to move forward without him. Luke Donald has options. The The European qualifying system allows captains' picks, and Rahm's talent would make him an obvious selection if he remains eligible. But eligibility requires membership, and membership requires accepting the deal. As Rory McIlroy had said, at the end of the day, it's about the team, and no one player is bigger than the team. Those words carry heavy weight for Donald. If Rahm refuses to compromise, Europe will simply find players who will. The tension reached its peak during the IE 2026 Masters. Rahm was repeatedly asked about his Ryder Cup status. His answers were confident, almost defiant. "I'm not planning to play until September," Rahm said, "so that's a bit of a positive. If I were unable right now, it doesn't matter since I'm not planning to tee it up until after August, but the clock is ticking." He added, "The DP World Tour has not changed its stance, and 8 other LIV players have already accepted the terms. We keep talking to them and keep trying to negotiate. I have given in quite a bit on several things. We're going to work it out. It's going to work out." Luke Donald is far less certain. "I hope he's there," Donald said, "but I have to prepare as if he might not be." This uncertainty is a nightmare for a captain trying to build a team. Pairings, strategy, and team chemistry all depend on knowing exactly who will be available. Rahm's refusal to commit has left Donald in a difficult position. "Jon is a grown man, he makes his own decisions," Hatton said. "I made mine, we're both comfortable with where we stand. The Ryder Cup means everything to me, and I wasn't willing to risk that. Jon feels differently, and I respect that, but the respect is starting to wear thin." As the 2027 Ryder Cup approaches, the pressure on Rahm to give in is only increasing. Rory McIlroy has never been afraid to speak his mind. When it comes to the Ryder Cup, his passion runs even deeper. At the Arnold Palmer Invitational, when asked about Jon Rahm's eligibility, he did not hold back or offer polite hope. "The Ryder Cup is bigger than any one person, it's bigger than all of us," McIlroy said. "We come and go, players pass through the system. We should all be grateful that we have a platform like the Ryder Cup where we can showcase our skills and be part of something much bigger than ourselves." He then delivered the line that would echo for weeks. "At the end of the day, it's about the team, and no one player is bigger than the team." The message was loud and clear. Jon Rahm is not bigger than the Ryder Cup. If he does not want to follow the rules, Europe will find players who do. For those who remembered McIlroy's earlier support, when he insisted the DP World Tour should rewrite rules to help Rahm after his LIV move, this shift was dramatic. He compared the situation to Brooks Koepka's return to the PGA Tour. Koepka had given up 5 years of player equity, program eligibility, his 2026 FedEx Cup bonus, and agreed to a $5 million charitable donation. Against that, playing 2 extra DP World Tour events seemed minor. "Geez, in my opinion, it's a really generous deal," McIlroy said. "There's a reason 8 of the 9 guys took that deal. I think it's a really good deal." McIlroy also noted that Rahm's LIV contract already requires him to play 14 events with no option to skip any. Next week, Rahm would be heading to South Africa for LIV Golf, a place he likely would not choose himself. "I'm sure Jon doesn't want to go to South Africa next week, but he's going," McIlroy said. "He signed a contract for LIV and plays all 14 events. I get all that, but the DP World Tour is completely within its rights to protect itself as a members organization and as a business." The logic was harsh but undeniable. If Rahm could accept LIV's demanding schedule, why couldn't he accept 2 extra DP World Tour events? These comments hit hard. While preparing for the Masters, Rahm was forced to respond, "I think Rory is entitled to his opinion. But he's not in my shoes, he doesn't know what I've been offered, he doesn't know what I've been through." The exchange only added more fuel to the already burning fire. Justin Rose is not someone who usually stirs controversy. The 2013 U.S. Open champion is respected for his professionalism, grace, and ability to handle golf politics without creating enemies. But when asked about Rahm's Ryder Cup standoff, Rose spoke directly. "If you want to play in the Ryder Cup, you have to be a member of the DP World Tour. You have to abide by the rules and regulations." The words were straightforward, but their meaning ran deep. Rose was publicly siding with the established system and drawing a clear line between those willing to compromise and those who are not. Rose himself has a long history with the DP World Tour. He has been a loyal member for 2 decades, playing the minimum number of events needed to keep his card while managing a busy PGA Tour schedule. He understands the sacrifices required to represent Europe. "I've been doing this for 20 years, Rose said. "I've played in the cold and the rain in places that aren't glamorous. I've done it because I love the Ryder Cup. I've done it because it matters." The implication was obvious. If Rahm is not willing to make the same sacrifices, perhaps he does not deserve a place on the team. Rose's comments carried extra weight because he is one of the most respected voices in the European locker room. He does not speak often, but when he does, people listen. "Justin has earned the right to say what he said," one European player said anonymously. "He's been through the grind, he knows what it takes. When he talks, we listen." Rahm's reply was calm but defensive. "I respect Justin, he's a great champion, but he's not in my position. He doesn't know what I've been offered, he doesn't know what I've been through." The back and forth highlighted the growing divide between Rahm and his former teammates. The strong camaraderie that defined Europe's wins in Rome and Bethpage Black was beginning to fray. The team that once looked unbeatable now appeared vulnerable. "Jon is a great player," Rose said. "Everyone wants him on the team, but the team is bigger than any one player. If he can't be there, we'll find someone who can." It was a clear warning, and Rahm heard it loud and clear. The 2027 Ryder Cup is still 18 months away. Jon Rahm has time to change his mind. The DP World Tour has time to negotiate, but the clock is ticking. "I'm confident this will be sorted out before I tee it up in September," Rahm said. Luke Donald is not so sure. "I hope he's there," Donald said, "but I have to prepare as if he might not be." The stakes are enormous. The 2027 Ryder Cup will be played at Adair Manor in Ireland, a home event for Europe with a chance to win on home soil. And Rahm, one of the team's most important players, might not be there. Imagine a European team without Rahm losing at home. The backlash, as Bob Harig wrote, would be huge over such an issue. But Rahm remains confident. "I think I already have," he said about making compromises. "We've already told them many times. The question is whether the DP World Tour will bend. So far, they have shown no signs of doing so." The 8 players who accepted the deal prove the terms are reasonable. One DP World Tour official said, "We have to protect the integrity of the tour. We can't make exceptions for one player, no matter how talented he is." This standoff has turned into a test of wills, with the Ryder Cup hanging in the balance. Rahm believes it will work out. "I have faith in us and the DP World Tour. We're going to find a good solution for both sides," he said. His teammates are far less certain. As the 2026 season moves forward, the pressure on Rahm to compromise continues to grow. The 2027 Ryder Cup is 18 months away. Jon Rahm still has time to change his mind. The DP World Tour still has time to negotiate, but the clock is ticking and the entire golf world is watching. For more coverage of the biggest stories in golf, subscribe and hit the notification bell.